Got the Latherking lather machine here, and they are notoriously clogging up. And we think we figured out the problem, and I hope so. But this is the motor. Here's the switch, and plug, obviously. Okay. Then over here, this is basically the switch that turns it on. So this turns the unit on. But when it's on, it's not doing anything. It's just powered. So once you click the switch, there's power to this. There's power to the motor. Okay. Then what happens is when you push this down, it pushes on the bottom of the base, and that little switch will turn on. Okay. That's a little switch. Okay. It's a little foot there. Okay. Right there. When I push it in, that's the on switch. Okay? So if it's not powering on, then those are going to be your two problems right there. Okay, and it's really simple. Just untwist these and then put the new one on. Very simple. Okay, this is the heating element, this wire right here, this white wire. Okay? So the white wire plugs into here and it wraps around and it heats this whole plastic thing. Okay, and then it runs out to the other side and then to the power. Okay, so now normally what we do, okay, let me see if I can set this up real quick. This piece goes right in here, so hold on. Alright, so now it's in there. Okay, when it sits there, this is normally where the lever goes. Okay, so when you push this down, alright, push this down, and it pushes on the switch. Okay, what it also does, the old ones did not have this. This is a valve. This is what has been giving me my problem. Okay, in here is where the shaving cream comes out. Alright, so in there it gets all clogged up. So you can take off 1, 2, 3, and then another one on the bottom, 4. Take those off, and then this whole white piece pulls out. Okay, when you pull it out, there's a little spiral thing in there. Clean that up really good. Some hot water, some Q-tips. Get all of this junk out of there. I cleaned up most of mine already, but that's what all this stuff's from. This is all dried up shaving cream. See, you can see here, it's all dried up shaving cream, and it gets stuck inside of here. Okay, the other thing is it gets inside of here, because like I said, as you see, when I push on the lever, well, I'm not on the base, but basically when it's on the base and you push on the lever, okay, it moves this up and down the spring. Right? You see how it's moving a little bit when I push on it? And what you're doing is you're opening this and you're letting the flow come through. Okay? So this sits in here. Okay? Alright? And this piece screws onto here. I'm going to put that back on in a second. And then that way, when you push on the lever, and there'll be pressure on here, and this valve will open. Okay, so if your system is clogged where you can turn it on, you hear the motor running and everything, but it's not coming out, then first thing you can try to do is try to put some hot water through here. You know, they do make the cleaner for it. Alcohol works, stuff like that. Everything, it has to be, you know, make sure it's electrical safe, but you know, alcohol will be fine. They do make a cleaner for it, but when you put it in, you push the lever, this valve's going to open, and you're going to be able to let it down. Well, what I had to do is I had to take some Cool Care, and when I disassembled this, unfortunately I put it back together before I started my video. I apologize, but spray that in there when it's off. And you can try it while it's together, as long as you don't get the electric. This is, you know, pretty safe. It's made for clippers and whatnot. But anyway, you push that in, push the lever as you're spraying it because you want it to open up and you want to get everything in there. Okay, so what I did was I took this piece off. Okay, it's just a little bolt right there under the spring. Okay, move that spring out of the way. Okay, and you can get to the bolt, unbolt that. You can unscrew these to get to it easier, and then it'll unlatch from here. So unscrew 2 bolts, unlatch it from here. You just pull it apart. You see how it sits in the little fitting. It's kind of hard to see with the amount of light. Okay, there it goes, right there. That little button fits under the other plastic bracket. Okay, and then you can unscrew those two and that, and it comes out. This plastic piece will come out, and you can unscrew this from the bottom here. But once you loosen this, sorry, it keeps losing focus. Okay, once you unscrew this, you'll be able to unscrew this by hand. You can pull it off, and then you'll see when you hold it in your hand. Let's see if I can. Okay, when you hold it in your hand, you'll be able to move it back and forth. Okay. All right, and what you need to do is spray the crap out of it. Okay, you're gonna spray it inside. You're gonna spray it inside, and then right around in here. Okay, and you'll see this is where. See, there it goes. See how it moves now? Now I'm in the bracket. Now the valve's open. Okay, now it's closed. See? So my valve was opening and closing, but it was having trouble opening and closing, so I couldn't get a lot of shaving cream through there. Okay, the water and the shaving cream mixture wasn't going through. So clean that out. Okay, and if your heater's not working, this is what you replace. Just unplug it here, and I can't find the other side of it. I think this one's the other. I think this one's the other side of it. But this one here, and then you just unravel it, and then unhook the other end, and just plug the new one in. It's very simple. Okay, these are pretty simple units, and unfortunately, nobody wants to show you how to fix them. They just want to charge you to fix them. Okay, but this is very simple. It's a very simple machine. You can buy these parts at Norva, Norva, I believe. And they'll have parts for this. Okay. The only thing I have had trouble finding is the brushes. Goes in that little black screw hole right there. Okay. The brushes that they send you, they say that they fit this motor. They do not fit this motor. Okay. I tell you that right now because I have a whole bunch of them. Okay. Now, these are the brushes. All right. First of all, they send you these Oster ones and they tell you that they work. They don't. These are for a classic 76. But these are... Okay, these are the brushes. Okay. The old one has the spring hooked right to it. And what you do is you unscrew that little plastic piece and you slide this in. And you slide this in, and you put the cap back on, and what it does is it pushes against here. Okay, and it'll push against here, and this metal rides against the electric part of the motor, and it makes a contact, and that's how you get the power running through the motor. Okay, eventually these wear down, and this little square part gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and eventually the spring's not big enough to make it touch against the motor. Okay, but these are not the correct ones. Okay, now on the old Latherkings, this right here is the valve. Okay, let's see, hold on. Okay, this is the old valve on the old lather machines. Okay, and it works the same way. Okay, this would be screwed into the top. Then you would hit the button, and when you hit the button, see, it opens that valve. Okay, and unfortunately I did not know this when I had my old machine, because who knows, this might be the broken part. Okay, but that's how the valve works. So the other one's working basically the same way, it just doesn't have this shaft. Okay, so anyway, so that's how you fix those brushes. So if your motor's not turning on, check the brushes, check your switch, check the other switch. Okay, so Now I'm going to start putting it back together, and I have to put this part onto here first. Okay, so now this is upside down. The motor's going to go in here. Okay, so I'm going to get a switch in here. And the wire goes in here. Okay. Now make sure all the wires are not pinched or anything. And this is going to fit right in here. As you can see, that spring fits in the hole, and everything lines up. Okay, so I gotta hold it in there. Now just turn that around, screw that on. Okay, screw here, screw there. That one's sitting in there, but it's not screwed in. And those two right there, here and here. Okay, so now move the bracket back over and then screw it on. Same thing on the other side. Make sure this is lined up before you finish screwing in, because it likes to move around. It has to kind of snap on there a tiny bit. Not really a snap, but almost. Okay. Don't over tighten, you'll break it. It's all plastic. Okay, now that it's upside down, you can see that switch. Okay, there's that switch. Just putting these back together here. So you see the motor's going in place. Okay, switch is in place. The wire out of the way, tuck it in there. Okay, now there's two bolts that are a little bit longer, and I go for this. Okay. Now it's a bottom on there. I don't want to snap on there properly, but okay. Just drop the screws in there. Okay. Now it's just slides into here. Okay. And put the longer bolts in there. Screws. Oh, don't fall. Yeah. Okay, flip it back over. For some reason my washer never fell out of there. But put this in there. And that is what's going to make the valve work. Okay. Now a little bit of shaving cream mixture is concentrated shaving cream, and I already put some water in there, but I am going to add some more. It's very thick. Okay, get a little stir. Plug it back in, and hopefully this works now. Oh, turn it on. There we go. I made it a little too watery, but it's working. There we go. Look at that. Fixed lather machine. Oh yeah, love to see that mess. And there you go. That's how you dismantle, take apart, fix, and clean your Latherking lather machine, shaving cream machine. Comment, questions will be answered.